ICD-10 JJ-10A, page 348, exercise 1, and this is a level 2 exercise, and it reads like this.
Failed attempted abortion complicated by hemorrhage.
Right, that's a failed attempted abortion, and it was complicated by hemorrhage, okay? So we're going to count to 3, so you can pause the video and then give us the ICD-10 code for this condition or this diagnosis. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the answer is 2 codes, 007.1, and notice that the 0 we do it an O with a forward slash crossing it, right? To differentiate that it's not an O, but it's a 0. It's a numeral, okay? So it's 007.1, and the other code is C38, I'm sorry, 00. Okay? Again, 007.1 and Z3800. Okay? If you got those 2 codes, then congratulations, just go to the next video. If you didn't get it, let's give you a couple of tips. Okay, the first tip.
Level 2 difficulty. There are 2 codes.
There are 2 codes. It's not just one code that you can go straight to the index to the code, but you have to see some notes or see some things that tell you that there's an extra code, right? And the tip number 2.
Start with abortion.
Start with abortion. Tip number 3.
The second code is for weeks of gestation.
And since we don't have it, right, we choose what?
Unspecified.
Because we don't have the weeks of gestation, but you have to put them in anyway. So if you don't have it, you have to choose unspecified. And why is that?
Any code within 000 through 09A has to have a second code for weeks of gestation.
You're right. If your code follows or falls within this range, you have to have a second code. That's the rule. And in parentheses, we say C note.
Under Z3A, weeks of gestation.
If you go to weeks of gestation, it's gonna tell you the code first, the underlying condition, which gives you the range specified over there. Okay, so the answer is 007.1 and Z38.00. Now you have to find the path, how you get to this answer, okay? So we're gonna count to 3, so you can pause the video and then give us the path to these answers. Okay? 1, 2, 3. All right. The problem is, the summary of the whole problem is a failed attempted abortion complicated by hemorrhage. The code 1 through the index is found like this.
First you go to index.
You go to index.
Then you go to abortion.
You start with abortion.
Then you go to attempted, failed.
Attempted, and in parentheses, failed, and
complicated by.
Then
you go to hemorrhage.
Hemorrhage. And what you get?
007.1.
That's the code that you get from the index. Now we're going to check this in the tabular. So the code 1 through the tabular is found like this.
007.
You start with the tabular, right?
Yes.
And then 007, what is that?
Failed attempted termination of pregnancy.
Okay, we add one more digit. The 1, what is the 1? 007.1.
Hemorrhage.
Hemorrhage, right? Which is exactly what we need, right? But now remember that in our tips we told you that if this code falls between certain range, you need a second code, and it falls within certain range, right? The range that we specified. So we're going to do the second code. For the second code, through the index is found like this.
First, you go to index.
Go to index.
Then you go to pregnancy.
Go to pregnancy.
Then you go to weeks of gestation.
Weeks of gestation.
Not specified.
Because we don't have the weeks of gestation, so it's not specified. And
Z3A.00.
00, right? And we're going to check this in tabular.
First you go to tabular.
Tabular.
Then you go to Z3A. Weeks of gestation.
And there's the note, right?
Yes. Any code within 000 through 09A has to have a second code for weeks of gestation.
That's the note, right? So that's why we're doing this now. So you go to Z38.0 because it's
unspecified.
all right, and we keep going. C38.00
Not specified.
not specified, right? Because there's no no trimester, no week, not anything at all in that problem. So that is what is not specified, right? So that's why we have an equal sign, which means that we already double checked this code. So the answer is O07.1 and C38A.00. Okay, thanks for watching. Please visit our website. Thank you.